I want to talk to you about the updates for MONALEESA-3 clinical trial that was presented in ASCO 2021 by Dr. Slayman. So they actually presented overall survival results from this phase 3 study that was a randomized clinical trial of postmenopausal patients who had hormone receptor positive, HER2 negative, metastatic breast cancer, and they were treated with fulvestrant plus and minus ribociclib. So in this study, they randomized 726 patients, 2-to-1 randomization to ribociclib plus fulvestrant versus placebo plus fulvestrant. And the primary endpoint in this study was progression-free survival. They had multiple secondary endpoints, including overall survival and overall response rate, and also safety. So the overall survival in overall population showed that there was actually 53.7 months overall survival in investigational arm, patients who received ribociclib, versus 41.5 months overall survival in patients who received placebo. So there was a hazard ratio of 0.726. The overall survival in patients treated in the first-line setting showed 51.8 months of survival in patients who received fulvestrant and placebo. And in patients who received ribociclib, it actually it didn't reach they couldn't count it because the patients were still alive. And the overall survival in patients who were treated in second line of therapy was also showed improvement in patients who received ribociclib and fulvestrant versus placebo and fulvestrant. It has a ratio of 0.78. Overall, the conclusion of this study was that in the exploratory analysis with extended median follow-up of 56.3 months that they presented in ASCO, ribociclib and fulvestrant, they maintained the overall survival benefit in postmenopausal patients with hormone receptor positive, HER2 negative, advanced breast cancer. And the benefit that was seen included all subgroups of patients and settings. With ribociclib and fulvestrant versus fulvestrant alone, the median overall survival was 53.7 months compared to 41.5 months. So there was actually more than 12 months improvement in overall survival of patients who received ribociclib. So MONALEESA-3 remains the only randomized trial evaluating CDK4/6 inhibitor and showed actually overall survival benefit in postmenopausal patients who were treated in first-line setting with CDK4/6 inhibitor. And this study showed that patients who received ribociclib and fulvestrant, there was a delay in the use of subsequent chemotherapy, and these patients had prolonged chemotherapy-free survival compared to patients who did not receive ribociclib. So in general, these patients also tolerated treatment very well, and there was no new toxicity that was observed in these study updates.